Operation Dragon Eye, the war for our children's future. 60 children, gone without a trace, forgotten by a system that failed to keep them safe, found in places no child should ever be, and some of them pregnant, scarred, silent, until now. In the shadows of Florida's palm-lined highways and beachside neighborhoods, Operation Dragon Eye burst forth like a reckoning, one of the largest child recovery efforts in the state's history. This wasn't just a sting. It was a war cry against a quiet genocide, the trafficking and disappearance of our children, many of whom had become invisible to society. But not to the 20 agencies who united under one goal: to bring them home. Over the course of just 12 days in June 2025, 60 critically missing children were found in the Tampa Bay area. Children as young as 9 years old. Not runaways. Not rebels. Victims. Survivors of abuse, rape, trafficking, and systematic neglect. And behind every child rescued, a chilling story. Girls forced into sexual servitude, some impregnated by their abusers. Boys forced into drugs, gangs, and criminal rings. Children turned into commodities in a state that claims to protect life. Behind every door, a broken childhood. Some of these children were recovered from trap houses. Others were in motels. Some, horrifyingly, were found in the very homes of relatives or foster guardians who were meant to protect them. This wasn't a single trafficker hiding in the shadows. It was a web, a network of exploitation fed by apathy, fear, and profit. The public often believes that trafficking looks like a van in the night. The truth is more insidious. It's a 14-year-old girl groomed online and sold for sex while still enrolled in school. It's a 12-year-old boy running from an abusive foster home and ending up enslaved by drug dealers. And it's our silence that allows it to happen. Justice in uniform, heroes in the darkness. The operation was led by the U.S. Marshals Service, aided by police departments, sheriff's offices, social workers, and nonprofits. This wasn't about headlines. It was about human lives. Over 100 agents worked round the clock, not just arresting predators, but holding broken children in their arms, giving them food, safety, comfort, letting them sleep without fear for the first time in months. 8 predators were arrested. Some had direct ties to trafficking rings. Others were found with weapons, drugs, and child pornography. Bonds reached up to $250 million, and still it felt insufficient compared to the damage they caused. But the arrests are not the victory. The victory is the silence broken, the veil lifted, the future reclaimed. Who failed them first? While we praise law enforcement's success, we must ask, where were the institutions before this? How did dozens of critically missing children vanish without media coverage? Why did their cases go cold until a federal operation forced action? This is not just a law enforcement issue. It is a social collapse. The schools who ignored red flags. The social workers overwhelmed and underfunded. The state that cut resources for shelters while building more prisons. The neighbors who didn't want to get involved. Children don't vanish. They're allowed to vanish. The road ahead, not just rescue, but recovery. Many of the rescued are receiving trauma counseling, housing, and medical treatment. But the hardest journey lies ahead, healing. These children will have to piece together their lives while knowing the world moved on without them. Some are carrying children themselves, a reminder that even after rescue, they are not truly free. We must not just rescue, we must restore. Funding must flow to trauma centers, emergency shelters, and aftercare programs. Teachers, doctors, and citizens must be trained to spot the signs. And media must stop reserving outrage only for perfect victims. Every child matters. Even the ones who were forgotten. Especially them. Never again means action now. Operation Dragon Eye pulled 60 souls from the jaws of despair. But what about the ones still out there? The thousands not found? The ones still calling out behind closed doors? This cannot be a one-time story. This must be the beginning of a relentless pursuit. For every missing child, for every trafficked girl, for every boy lost to a system that eats children alive. We don't need thoughts and prayers. We need accountability. We need outrage. We need parents who demand answers. Leaders who write legislation, not excuses. Communities that don't look away. Let Dragon Eye be the flame that burns down the illusion of safety and forces us to rebuild a world where children are not prey, but priority. Because if we can't protect our children, we have no future. And no forgiveness.